Hey everybody, I'm out here in the woods taking a look around. I got some new boots. I thought I'd do a little new boot goofing here in the woods. I wanted to find Enoki mushrooms because they are delicious. But they also have some really cool health benefits too. They help with your immune system. You know, I heard a quote, health is the crown a well man wears that only the sick can see. Never take your health for granted. And it's, your responsibility to nourish yourself and stay healthy. You're young, you have amazing immune systems right now. Immune systems. So let me show you what I found here growing on this tree. This is a winter mushroom that grows. There's a lot more winter mushrooms than you'd think. And with all these rains that we had this week, I thought it'd be a good idea to poke around. So let me zoom in on this. You can see it. You can see one teeny tiny one right here. But down here, these are Enoki mushrooms. Also known as iron caps. So I believe this is what these are, right? So I need to, I'm going to take them, but then I'm going to go home and positively ID them. So you can see that the fruiting body is actually behind this bark. And this vine, I don't know if this vine is a poison ivy or Virginia creeper, so I'm not going to take any mushrooms that are touching it just to be safe. But there have been years that I have seen Enoki all the way up this bark. That was a fun harvest. I was walking just for about 5 more minutes and I found another mushroom that has value. This is called turkey tail. The banding on it does kind of look like a turkey's tail, so that's how it gets that name. But it has, it's kind of velvety. It's a lot thinner, so it's not a mushroom that you eat by sauteing it like you would the enoki. Instead, you make a tea out of this. And the health benefits for this are it boosts your immunity. There's data showing it fights cancers, and it also pulls antioxidants out of your system. So I'm going to grab some of this too. This is just a reminder, if you go out mushroom hunting, don't forget to look up. So up there, those are oyster mushrooms. Some of my favorite finds have been pretty high up on a tree. This is kind of a cool find, unrelated to mushrooms. Look at that. That's a buck scrape. So bucks will come here and they rub their antlers right here. And they leave their scent behind. Sometimes they'll scrape the ground as well. But this is basically a communication spot for other deer so they can smell and see who's been through the area. Walking around in the woods, we think of winter as everything is dead, right? The trees are certainly bare. But instead of everything being dead and gray and dull, really it's just a shift into being dormant. There's still quite a bit of green in the landscape. It's just kind of an interesting concept. Sometimes we have seasons where maybe things aren't totally shut down, but it's a time where we need to go dormant a little bit to go to our most familiar places and gather strength, seek comfort. So you have the energy of the trees being drawn into the roots, and then they go dormant for a season. And then they push all that energy back to the tips of the branches, and you have buds and leaves again. There's quite a bit of color here. And sometimes when I get bummed out over the low gray skies of these months, I like to come to the woods and sort of reframe my perspective, go into it with a zoom lens and look at the patterns of mosses and the grasses, even the shades of browns and tans, and even some golden hues that are left over in the leaves. And it helps me feel better and more connected and hopeful for the spring. Well, I'm starting to lose my light a little bit, and it's getting pretty cold out here, so I feel pretty good. We found the Enoki and the turkey tail, so let's go home and start cooking.